Good morning, children. Welcome to a new chapter of history. This is the second chapter called The Earliest Societies. So, we're going to learn which the earliest societies were on Earth and how did they evolve. Now, can you believe that the Earth is over 4,600 million years old? Life began on Earth around 3,500 million years ago. Isn't that surprising? Now, at that time, it was only plants and animals which roam around on Earth for several millennia. Now, what is millennia? Millennia is a period of 1,000 years. So, for thousands of years, you had only plants and animals roaming around on Earth. So, when did humans appear on Earth and how did they look? Now, early humans appeared on Earth in the period called pre-Pleistocene and early Pleistocene period. Early humans appeared on Earth, looked like apes, and they had ape-like features. These humans were called as hominids. During the Pleistocene period, the hominids could not walk straight. They either lived on treetops or caves and wandered from place to place in search of food and water. Now, hominids had a smaller head, the brain was smaller, and they had more rigid body movements. Archaeologists believe that humans most closely evolved from these species of animals. Gradually, hominids evolved and developed. Their bodies started changing. Now they could stand straighter. Their fingers became flexible and so they could hold things firmly. Their grip became better and so they started making tools. Another important part of important change that happened was that these humans, early humans, their brain case became bigger and their jaws became smaller. They also could travel longer distances. Now, this category of humans is called as Homo erectus. Now, this period of history is called as prehistory. Now, what happened in prehistory? The Homo sapiens gradually emerged. Homo sapiens literally means thinking or wise man. That itself tells us that the Homo sapiens were able to think more than the previous hominids and the Homo erectus. They could think for themselves. They were able to take decisions. So Homo sapiens have evolved gradually into the modern day human beings. Now, prehistory is the period of human development when humans could not read or write. And then how do we know so much about this period? So this period we can understand from the study of fossils, that is the bones that are left behind, or the stone tools and their cave paintings. Now, in India, this period has appeared around 1.5 million years ago, which we have learnt from the recent discoveries that were made from Bori in Maharashtra. Now, a fun fact about the oldest fossil that has ever been discovered. Now, this oldest fossil of hominid is called Lucy, and it is dated to be more than 3.2 million years old. And it is, like I said, the oldest hominid fossil to be ever found. Now, it was discovered in 1974 at Hadar Avash Valley of Ethiopia's Afar Depression by Donald Johansen, and is just a meter tall. So it's not very big. It's just a meter tall. Now, coming to Paleolithic or Old Stone Age. Now, in this age, the humans were also known as quartzite humans. Why were they called quartzite humans? That was because they used a hard stone called quartzite to make their tools. Now, we are going to look at the various periods of Paleolithic age. Now, this is on the basis of stone tools or the climate changes that have occurred. So, the first age is here called the early or lower Paleolithic age. Now, in this period, the tools that were used were hand axes, cleavers or choppers, like big knives and big cleavers. So these were the tools that were used. And in India, we can find evidences of the earlier or lower Paleolithic age at Sohan in Punjab, Balan Valley, which is in Mirzapur, Uttar Pradesh. Now, coming to Middle Paleolithic age, the tools that they used were the scrapers and borers, and these were made of flakes. And where do you find them in India? You find them in the Sohan in Punjab, or at the banks of Narmada and the Tungabhadra river. Now, Upper Paleolithic age is when the climate started changing and the climate became warmer and the glaciers started melting. The tools that were used at this time were called burins and blades. In India, we find them near Bhopal in Madhya Pradesh, parts of Karnataka, and Chota Nagpur Plateau. Now, how were these stone tools made? What were they used for? That is what we are going to look over here. So, stone tools were of three types: core tools, flake tools, and blade tools. Now, core tools were used for pounding and crushing, to beat something up and breaking into smaller pieces. Flake tools were for scraping and slitting. Scraping and slitting, they were used more to give a proper shape, to remove all the excess material from a particular stone. And slitting is obviously cutting it into pieces. And blade tools were again used for slicing and engraving, so they were more sharper. What were the methods that they used to make these tools? Because obviously in those days there were no machines. So stone tools, the techniques were stone on stone method and pressure flaking method. So there were these two techniques that they used to make these stone tools. So we're going to first look at the stone on stone method. This is very simple to understand. Like you can see in the picture, the stone that you want to shape was held in one hand, and it was hammered with another stone with the other hand. So that is the stone on stone method. The stone which has to be shaped was held in one hand, and the other pebble was used to hammer it and shape it properly into the desired tool that was needed. Coming to the pressure flaking method. Now in this method, any piece of wood or stone or bone, whatever was needed, was kept on a hard surface, and it was hammered upon using either a stone or whatever sharp big stone that they could find. Now this, they used to gradually hammer the other two, the piece that they wanted, and then they would remove the flakes so that they would eventually get the desired shape. So today we're going to stop here to understand the lesson further. We will continue this lesson in the next video. I'll just do a quick recap of the lesson. What we have so far seen is how the earlier societies or the earlier humans were evolved, how they have gradually evolved from the hominids, who were ape-like creatures and had smaller brains and could not walk erect. They used to walk bent, and they gradually evolved into the Homo erectus, who were humans which were able to stand straighter, had more flexibility. These Homo erectus were the people who started using tools, and then who gradually evolved into the Homo sapiens and the modern humans. And we also saw the different methods of stone tools and the methods of making them. So this is where we're going to stop for today. Please, I hope you all have understood the video. Please go through it again so that you can understand the concepts better. And in case of any doubts, feel free to get in touch. Thank you.